Good day, beautiful soul family, and welcome to On Another Level. And I have been working on this video. Divine Spirit has called me to do this. It's in reference to this horrible drug called adrenochrome. And as I think about it, beautiful soul family, it's really horrible for both sides. It's horrible for both sides because both people, both the child that the adrenaline is being harvested on, they die. And sadly enough, the people that feel like they need to resort to this, they are dead. And I know this is harsh. So this is not for the faint at heart. If you still have rose-colored glasses on, then forget about it. I need you to go to another video, maybe even to another YouTube channel. But this is about what's going on. And so I've been trying to upload this for the longest. But when you go within with self-love, self-care, self-nurture, there is absolutely nothing that can stand against your very own passions. Especially when it's the why that makes your heart cry. And this is not just about my heart, but your heart is my audience. It's about you going within again. It's about you. Because as you go within with self-love, self-care, self-nurture, and you go into the Walmarts, you go into the supermarkets or the corner stores, and you see the plethora of children that have gone missing, cold cases, seeing the cold and the fright in their eyes. And you just walk along. It should do something as it did to Nehemiah. It should bring you to a point of prayer and fasting. It should be like, okay, this is something that is happening to humanity, that is happening to the hopes and the freedoms of tomorrow. And so, you know, this portion is part one, because trying to get the whole thing, even though it's only like 38 minutes, 39 minutes, grab your popcorn, and really not grab your popcorn. Maybe grab some tissue. I don't know. But the point is to let you know what's going on out there. Because this does affect you. You may say, how does this affect me? Well, I'll tell you. Every missing child that you see on the walls and cold cases is like, you know, we have a lot of police, but it's like, really, what departments are overflowed? Because these children should have been found already. Even if they have left this world, sadly, the parents should have closure. Ancestors should have closure. Okay? And it goes deeper than we can ever imagine. Also, as you are not being able to connect to the children that have passed, you're not being connected to your inner child. There's a telltale sign. So I do apologize in this, but this has got to get out there. Okay? This is something that needs to get out there. and welcome back to On Another Level. And today, the Vice Spirit is just still talking to me about those children that we see. We see their faces, pictures, mugshots even, and they are plastered on the walls in our supermarkets, in the police precincts, on the sidewalks, on the streets, just blowing in the wind, okay? And in our Walmarts, as I mentioned, Walmarts, and the supermarkets, sometimes in the corner stores even. So the Vice Spirit is telling me that the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a thin line between feeling and not feeling. And the very things that we feel are selfish. Now, I speak on self-love, self-care, self-nurture. Here is the difference between self-love and selfish. Selfish is when you go within and it's all about you. Everything 24/7 is all about you. And it starts and ends that way. Self-love is more like selfless, where in order to be able to love one another in a healthy way, to where you're not giving so much of yourself that you don't realize that you are running empty, but to be able to love yourself and truly love and respect and honor others. And that's the difference. And Vice Spirit is just showing me that it is a thin line, beautiful soul family, where we are coming to a point where we don't feel anymore. Where we're becoming robotic. You know, what's so interesting is that robots do not produce future generations. They just have upgrades. And so we have to understand the difference between us and computers. Another reason why I'm doing this is, again, to get you to feel again. To feel passionate again. And not passion based off of hatred and anger or lust, but passion from love, unconditional love. That you may say, well, I don't have any children, but you may have nephews and nieces and cousins. The truth is that it takes a village. There's an African proverb where it says it takes a village to raise a child. We're not even talking about children. We're talking about one child. And so the thing about it is that children, they're the hope of tomorrow. And when they go under torture and stress, when they're deprived, when they go under neglect and torture, but when they go under these things, and they cry out, and yet we are not sensitive enough to feel in order to hear it and to see it, then there's a problem. There's a ginormous problem. And as mentioned from my other channeling, it's about when we don't feel or become numb. See, it's not something that happens overnight. None of these things happen overnight. It's a process. Because you see it over and over again, but it gets glazed over. So, the Vice Spirit was telling me about a drug, a cosmetic drug called adrenochrome. Now, adrenochrome is purchased by the elite, by those who are celebrities, are politicians, pretty much anyone that is able to buy these products. Now, interesting enough, these products can be synthesized. Adrenaline can be synthesized, but see, no, you don't get the same effects. And it is, as I've mentioned, a drug. Very expensive, so it cannot be, if you don't have money, you can't buy these products. You cannot. So it's the wealthy that is able to purchase these products. Now, what's so interesting is, what's the big deal about adrenochrome and the elites? They always, they are in the spotlight. They're where we can see, they're the actors and the actresses, they're the entertainers, they're always in front of the camera. This is what they do. But the thing about it is that some go under the knife and some decide, well, I'm not going to go under the knife, but I'm going to put others under the knife. I'm not going to go ahead and torture myself. I will go ahead and torture others in order to receive this, because truth be told, is that this adrenochrome ingredient is from the essence of children, from the essence of adrenaline from children. And so that's the sad part. There was even a question of whether adrenochrome existed, and it does. Here it says adrenochrome is a simple molecule that most undergraduate chemistry students could synthesize in a lab. But see, that's the thing. You can get it synthetically. Now, if you get it synthetically, that's fine. But the thing about it is that there's a deeper meaning as to why a person would rather harvest it from a child than to have it synthetically made. Okay? It's about the essence. It's about the youth from a child. Okay? Now, each of the sites that I'm getting my information from, I'm going to put it in the description box. But I warn you, this is alarming. So, in the spiritual world, we talk about energy vampires and how they harvest off of people's energy. But that's not the only thing that they do. It's so interesting. The Vice Spirit is telling me, behind closed doors, if you knew that these actors and actresses were coming against you, you may even be their fan, but they're coming against you and harvest on your children. So when you're looking at these actors and actresses on TV, and you may be a parent whose child went missing, they may have something to do with it. Adrenochrome is very expensive. For pure form adrenochrome form human victims. The reason why I say victim is because the person being harvested from is killed in the process. Because once the adrenaline is oxidized into adrenochrome, they die. Tell that to the thousands of actors and actresses and entertainers who take this. They know, trust me, they know what they're taking. But again, we're going back to that thin line between feeling and not feeling. And when you think about it, a lot of these actors and actresses have sold their souls. So they don't feel anyways. All they care about is putting this on their skin so that they can be youthful. What's so interesting is when I was younger, I would, of course, watch, different movies, TV, or whatever. And I thought that, wow, if I were to meet some of these people, it would be so great. I thought that, I was at a young age, and I thought that just by meeting these actors and actresses, that they would be just as wonderful as their roles. But the truth be told is that is not true. I remember I was in New York. I was in my very early 20s. I think I was 20, as a matter of fact. And I was window shopping as I was on my way to work. And right next, I came upon somebody window shopping. And I forgot his name, but he is a major actor. And he is usually found in the Al Capone movies, the Italian Gotti movies. And when I realized who he was, I didn't go berserk or anything like that, but I was like smiling until I looked over to see him looking at me with disgust. Now, on that day, I was dressed quite well, and I was smelling good too. But something about me he didn't like. And so immediately, I walked away. I didn't say hi. I just walked away. There's another actor. He was in his role. He was in character. And I saw him at the park. And he was in a character. He was in a role like actors and actresses. It's like a basketball player. It's like an athlete, really, not just a basketball player, because there's different sports. But it's like an athlete. When everyone's having fun, doing what they do. It's the athletes that are in that gym working hard for that major event, for that time frame in which they are to perform. To perform and to compete. Nobody's around, but it's them, and it's that consistency and focus. Okay? And so I totally get it. I understand. So he was in character, and I asked him if he was this. I said, "Aren't you da 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 da?" And he said no. And I was like, wow. So I walked away. And then to come to find that as I looked at him in a movie he was playing, I knew that it was him. And it's just so interesting, there's a lot of actors and actresses, they do want to just be left alone. They don't want to be bothered. And so I come to realize that, just the people that I think that I may want to meet and would actually get along with, right? I may have a wonderful time. There may be great conversation. But the truth is that what you're seeing is people playing a role. You don't know the actual person. And these many actors and actresses, they are really under pressure. See, I see from both sides. They are really under pressure. And they do many sacrifices. You don't know what is being sacrificed for that person to be on that screen while you're eating popcorn and drinking whatever drink. You don't know what they sacrificed. As I mentioned, some sacrificed their souls. Some, they are able to act or entertain for a time being, but they have to make that sacrifice if they want to do better, if they want to make millions and billions, if they want to be seen and loved and adored. And so there's major pressure, especially when that is their dream. But truth be told, and as we see in The Secrets of Hollywood, there are a lot, and I do mean a lot, of actors and actresses that have gone through so much. And so, we've seen it ourselves when actors go under the knife out of fear. And then what happens? They're completely destroyed because it's not the inside that we see, it's the different characters. There is amazing pressure. And using the word amazing is not even, I don't even think that's the right word to use. There's serious pressure. That's why some commit suicide. And so they try to find an easy way of staying in the spotlight, whatever it takes. And sadly enough, You know, when Divine Spirit is showing me an audience, especially when they have the awards, where they're winning these different awards, and it's so much competition. There is not a lick of love in that room. There's a lot of competition. There are people who are extraordinary actors and actresses / entertainers, and they don't get the notoriety. They don't get the respect. Because they choose. They choose not to do certain things. Now these people who will do anything, they take this drug called adrenochrome, and they know that it's from the essence and the adrenaline from children. They know that children die for the sake of them looking quote unquote beautiful. Okay, so that pretty much is the end of part 1. I really wanted to put it into a whole just one video, but you do what you gotta do. You know, they're doing what they gotta do, you know, and as you go with them with self-love, self-care, self-nurture, you do what you do, but with great passion. And not only is it great passion, but you are backed with Divine Spirit and archangels and guardian angels. So this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.